But first of all, staff at the Currigs Wildlife Park were left devastated last week after a fire. The fire crews were actually called just before midnight on Wednesday to tackle the blaze, which was in the newly built gentle lemur enclosure. It was unfortunately completely destroyed, and while keepers managed valiantly to rescue 2 of the lemurs who lived there, the 2 youngest ones died. Manager Kathleen Graham is with us, and Kathleen, I can't imagine what sort of a week it's been for you all up there.
Yeah, I think that's got to be one of the toughest weeks. We've had the 53-year history of the park. We've never experienced a fire, and I guess it's not at the forefront of your mind, so it's the shock. And yeah, it was incredibly tough on the keepers and other staff and contractors. I've got to say the fire crew were fantastic from Kirkmichael, and everyone's been tremendous about it, but it was quite tough. We're coming out of it now, but yeah, it was quite a shocking week.
So what do you know about what actually happened?
This is the thing, is myself and Tina had been down at the Wildlife Expo at the Manx Museum, and we'd actually returned to the park and left at 9:45, and I actually looked into the gentle lemur enclosure as we were driving up the drive, sort of in admiration of all the hard work that had went in as well. You know, the keepers had made fantastic bamboo huts, everything like that. And went home, went to bed, to get the phone call after midnight to say you need to get to the park, there's a fire, and to go down and see it. It's just quite shocking, and it's turned out to be an electrical fault, and between a heater and a socket it's not quite identifiable yet, but we're doing background work on that and checking with the manufacturers of the heaters to see if there's ever been any issues before. But it's one of those sad things that we have to put it down to bad luck, but it's going to affect us, I think, for a long time. And one thing it will do is it helps to keep that in our mind as well, because often when you're building enclosures, you're thinking about what does the animal need, can it perform its natural behaviours. It needs branches, it needs this, it needs shavings on the floor. And the tragic thing about that is that really is a great place to start if fire starts, for it to really take hold. So, but I think that will be in our mind, although you do worry because you think you can never totally prevent it. And your mind then wanders to other people that have been affected by fires, you know, humans that have been affected by fires. So all that's going on in your mind. But we're kind of regrouped ourselves. We got the park open. We got through the falconry weekend. And the keepers are already on it this afternoon. We're planning to get our other lemurs out to clear the space in the hospital so we can move on. And we're already talking to the insurance and drawing up plans to rebuild the house and try and get our adult pair back out as soon as we can.
And how are the adult pair?
They're fine. They've been eating all right, and they seem to have settled down. So we're really pleased that at least out of that we've got the 2 adults. I think the fire was bad enough, but it would have been great if we could have said that day, actually the missing 2, it's fine, we've discovered them. But sadly they had climbed up to the top of the branches inside the house. They could have got out, that's the thing, but they chose not to, because they're animals, not humans. You know, we're trained to get out of the building. But yeah, so we're cracking on now with plans for a rebuild.
It sounds like, from what you're saying, obviously the fire crew dealt with it so well, but I suppose it does make you wonder, is there a chance that it could have actually spread and caused more damage?
One thing we've been doing when we build new buildings now is we've been building out of metal buildings, and that they're more fire resistant. This was our best wooden building, so we'd refurbished the whole thing, redone the roof, redone the wiring. So it was standalone. It was quite far away from the trees. So unless there'd been a gale force wind, I don't think it would have spread. But yeah, I mean, the fire service were there on it quick to get the fire out.
What sort of reaction then did you have from the general public?
People have been wonderful. They really have. They've been so supportive. All the comments, you know, on Facebook and social media, people have, you know, dropped in cards and flowers and some donations. And it's not just for the animals. They have actually been thinking about how it impacts the staff. So it's slightly humbling, I think. And many people have offered how can they help us. And Graham, who's works with the Friends charity, the charity that helps support us, he's had a lot of companies come in and say, can we come and help? And we're trying to get through that and organise that, but it is quite difficult because we need people to help, get people to help, you know, the organisers. But the Friends are a charity that support us. They're going to help what I would call Build It Better. And we do have a Build It Better fund. That was the best name I could come up with, sorry. It's hopefully the insurance will cover a kind of like for like building, but we may want to add extra features. You know, we could consider maybe a sprinkler system if we've got enough donations for that. So we can take donations at the park, or, you know, if people want to donate to a charity, they can donate to the Friends, and they can contact the park, phone us up, message on Facebook. You know, we can give you the details for that. But yeah, we've been humbled by the response. We're really, really grateful to have such a fantastic community here in the Isle of Man.
And I think it's because the wildlife park is an integral part of island life, isn't it? Everybody associates with it in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place. Obviously, we've got a lot of members. We've got over 3,000 members. Families are very familiar with it. The schools come for education, but we're connected globally with our breeding programmes. We're very proud that we're members of BIAZA and IAZA, that we work cooperatively. We're helping fund things like, you know, the Javan Primate Project. We're now contributing into that. You've got to come up and see the baby gibbon, by the way. He is just fabulous.
Can we, Beth? Can we?
Yes. He's been swinging about himself now, practising. He's proper gibbon toddler now. It's wonderful to watch. And I've got to say that's one of the things that helps pull you through as well, is you've got other animals that are there alive and needing your attention. So that's what helps focus our minds, I think, and bring us on. But yeah, it's the park. It means a lot of things to a lot of people, and I'm very proud of all the staff and all the work that we do.
Might there be a chance, you mentioned breeding, and obviously, you know, it's so tragic losing those 2 young lemurs, and I know it's very early days, but might there be a chance that you look to breed with the lemurs again?
Well, hopefully. I mean, the stud bookkeeper had recommended that we still continue breeding. The eldest juvenile did actually have a place, and she was meant to go on. There's about 83, I think, gentle lemurs in the stud book, and there's reckoned to be somewhere between 2,000, 2,500 in the wild, so they are a critically endangered animal. So we would hope that they breed again. They have got the breeding recommendation, and that was the thing. We were so proud of this enclosure. It was fabulous seeing them out there, and that's the other tragic thing. But we're pulling together now, we're moving on, moving forward, and we've got more plans for the future as well, not just the whole lemur exhibit that we hope to get opened this year. There's exciting prospect of a new cafe building which might be relocated to the front of the park, so we're hoping that's going to be done by Easter 2020.
Oh, fantastic. So where's everything up to with that now?
It was there in the budget in Treasury, so I'm hoping they're not going to backtrack on that. I think there is one final vote for the final money, but it's already in the project planning process, and we're getting help with that as well. So it's quite excited to have a new building at the front of the park. It's going to really allow us to do things like evening functions and things like that, and it can really help with the revenue to help with development of the animal enclosures. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Do you know, I'm sure everybody listening, Kathleen, will just full of admiration for how you've all coped with the past week. Not only did you have to deal with what was going on, obviously you had the media there as well that you had to deal with, but it's just been incredible the way you've pulled together in such a short time and are looking forward now.
Yeah, when you've got animals, you've not got too long to cry in your pillow, as I would say. You've got to pull yourself together and be there for the animals that are very much alive and needing your attention.
Bank holiday weekend coming up, so what's happening?
There'll be our usual what's on. You know, our volunteers come in to do the discovery programme, so you can usually meet some bugs, see the talks. Weather's looking good, so there might be queues. Car park usually fills quite quickly. Everybody decides to come visit on a sunny bank holiday. But do you know what? That's great, because that's support as well. We love seeing lots of people.
Well, Kathleen, just remind us, if anyone's listening, they want to support you in any way they can, how can they do that?
You can message us through the contact form on the website. You can phone the park. You can message through the Facebook page. We're quite contactable, and yeah, just ask us, to give you any details that if you want to help, that'd be brilliant.